We all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. But why is it that some people are able to accomplish more in the same duration while others are not? It's because of focus. Focus is one of the most important deciding factors of success. In this video, we will understand what exactly is focus, why some people are unable to focus, and I will share with you some techniques to build laser sharp focus. So what exactly is focus? Focus is staying in one place, doing that one thing, that one task, setting aside all the distractions so that you can work on that one most important project of yours, stay glued to it until it is finished. Because let's first understand why we are unable to focus. Now, from evolutionary biology, we know that human mind is built to keep ourselves safe and protective in a comfortable zone. Centuries back, when our ancestors were living in the jungle, mind would constantly keep scanning the surroundings to see if there's any threat. However, we are now living in a safe environment. But these characteristics of the brain have gotten deeply embedded over the generations. Now, some of the key sources which lead the mind to feel that it is in an uncomfortable zone and hence lead to distraction are: number one, overstimulation of mind by excessive use of gadgets. If you see, our entire day is moving from one screen to another. As we keep scrolling through these screens, body keeps secreting a hormone known as dopamine. Dopamine, in simple words, is a hormone for feel-good factor. When we excessively use these gadgets, we keep getting shots of dopamine in our body and the body gets addicted to it. That is the reason when someone decides and sits for doing some work, after some time, he suddenly checks what's happening on social media. Because the body is so addicted to those dopamine shots that the mind starts saying, take a break. Also, when we keep scrolling through a lot of information, it is a cognitive overload. This impacts brain's capability of retaining and processing the information, thereby impacting our critical thinking abilities and focus. Lack of clarity and direction. So when people don't have any clarity on the goals that they want to achieve, they're constantly in a state of confusion, is when again the mind feels uncomfortable and hence it wants to take a break. They keep juggling from one thing to another. The third thing is when people find work very complex or monotonous or difficult, that is something that the mind is not comfortable with, and hence it starts saying, do something else, go check social media and take a break. Now, these are some of the key things that the mind considers as threats which is putting us into uncomfortable zones. But the good news is that we can rewire our mind to build focus. Some highly powerful techniques which you can utilize to enhance your focus. Number one, reduce the screen time. Have a defined morning ritual and evening ritual. First 1 hour of your day should be without any gadgets. So utilize the first 20 minutes of your time to jot down your thoughts, to visualize, to write your big goals, and after that, for the next 40 minutes, make sure that you involve yourself in some kind of exercise routine. Similarly, an evening ritual. An evening ritual is more about unwinding yourself after a long day of work. Now, why is that important? If we keep looking at the screens just before hitting the bed, it impacts the secretion of a hormone, melatonin. Melatonin is responsible for sleep-awake cycle in our body. And when we get into a deep sleep mode, the brain gets into something called as default mode network. Default mode network is something which enables high levels of creativity. And that is the reason you would have often heard people saying that they get the best of the ideas in dreams, in sleep, or even when they're completely relaxed. When we are looking at the screens continuously, it impacts the secretion of melatonin, hence impacts the sleep cycle, the quality of sleep, results in lower level of cognitive abilities and reduced focus. The second thing is planning your day. Planning your day is very important to give that clarity to the mind as to what exactly it has to do. So define your clear and specific goals. Make a to-do list. I personally make a to-do list or put certain things in my calendar. This gives me a very clear picture of what I have to do. So every day I would just open my calendar and see, okay, these are the things I have to do. I don't have to memorize everything and load my mind with lots of information. And when I have to prioritize among what things I have to do from that list of things, then what is it that I utilize is the Pareto principle. Pareto principle is the theory that 80% of the output of any given situation is determined by 20% of the input, which means that pick up the things which are very high important things which will impact 80% of your output and then start doing work on them. I pick up the most important things and do them in the time when I'm most productive. So identify when is your most productive time and just dedicate that time to the most important things, applying the Pareto principle. Third, building a conducive environment. So identify what are those things in your environment which are distracting you. It could be some phone calls, some emails, some notification, and then reduce those distractions by either delegate them or eliminate them or automate those things. Next thing is also surround yourself with people who are also working towards their big life vision. By doing that, you will have a rubbing effect and your mind will keep getting reminded that it has to work on certain goals. The third thing is what I call it is Z-level focus zones. Z-level focus zones are the zones where you are highly focused on some specific days of my week when I have to work on my creative work like creating content or building courses. I get into my Z-level focus zone. That time, people in my surroundings, they know that I'm not reachable, I'm not accessible. Pomodoro technique. Once you prioritized the things using Pareto law, build a conducive environment where you can sit and work. Now, when you are actually working, then utilize the Pomodoro technique. According to Pomodoro techniques, work for 25 minutes, take a 5 minutes break. No matter at what peak level of focus you are, take that 5 minutes break and keep doing that for 4 cycles. At the 4th cycle, after the 25 minutes of work, take a 30 minutes break. By doing this, we are training our mind with delayed gratification. Also, when the mind knows that after 25 minutes there is a break time, it will enable you to have complete focus during that 25 minutes of time. Fifth, train your brain. Our mind has 2 components, a left hemisphere which is responsible for logical and analytical thinking and right hemisphere which is responsible for creative thinking. Now there are certain activities you can incorporate in your routine so as to activate both sides of the brain. For example, playing brain games like Sudoku, chess, crossword or doing juggling. Also playing a sport, any outdoor activities, having a particular fitness routine. Learn a new language. Learn a musical instrument. 6. Plan your isolation time. Have scheduled breaks. Time that you can spend for some fun with family and friends. Plan a silence time. Just some time in nature when you are without any mobile phones, no podcasts, no emails. We often feel very highly obliged that we have maximized a nanosecond of our day doing something or the other. It is extremely important for us to understand that we need mind space to be able to get newer ideas and to be able to improve our cognitive abilities and hence our focus. In a nutshell, here are the 6 techniques for building laser sharp focus. Number 1, reduce screen time. Second, effective planning by clearly specifying your goals. Third, build a conducive environment. Use Pomodoro technique for doing your work. Fifth, train your brain by doing brain exercises. And sixth, plan your breaks and silence time. Remember that working on improving your focus is a disciplined, consistent process that will help you achieve exponential success. If you found this information useful, do let me know which one out of the 6 techniques is your favorite, and share the video with more and more people so that they also get benefited. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Devna Mathur, your high performance coach.